Thank y'all so much for letting us push this a little bit. We had some schedule changes this morning, so glad that you all could join at this time. I think we'll just kick it off with Coach McCarron. Just tell us a little bit about this week and looking ahead to Sunday.
Yeah, it's been a good week. Guys have been flying around. It's been a lot of focus, much better discipline. So proud of them.
Ryan, you want to kick us off with a question?
Hey, Coach. I had just wanted to see if there's how DTR has been progressing. I know we saw a lot of change in the way the offense performed last week. Also, I wanted to see if there was any changes in the with the O line, uh, uh, with the protections and all.
What do you mean by protections?
Well, I know that there's been some issues with the O line recently. I just wanted to see if there was any uh, changes going on with the O line.
No, I mean I don't feel like there's been any issues with the O line. I mean DC blitzed a lot, pretty much every play last week. I mean to get out of that game, only giving up 3 sacks on quarterback that have been there 3 days. I mean, it's pretty good to me. I mean, we fell behind, so we had to throw the ball more than we wanted. But when we were running the ball, we were averaging, I want to say, 4 to 5 yards a carry. So um, felt like we were we were good up front for the most part. And then he's been awesome. He's starting to learn the offense more and more, and we're um, just putting in more stuff. And I mean, he's been a pro handling everything and going about his business. And I think it shows. But my biggest thing is, listen, the scheme and everything works. We just got to go to the right spot, and then sometimes they get paid too. They're gonna win battles. But when we have opportunities, we got to go make plays.
James, go ahead with your question.
Hey, Coach, appreciate you taking the time. You're playing Orlando again, second time in 3 weeks. I'm curious, maybe this time around, what you might see that could be different or what might be the same. Obviously, quarterback change is a big one.
Yeah, the biggest thing for us, defense played well last time. I mean, held them to one touchdown, gifted them 3 points in the second half. And then, I mean, we really gifted them as an offense, 3 more points, hell, maybe even six. Trying to remember, but I know right before half, you know, we were in a fourth and or third and four. We had a false start, went to third and nine. They had another false start, went to third and 14. Um, then we just tried to get some of it back, and then we missed a field goal, and then that allowed them to get it at about the 35, 40, and then they hit a couple passes underneath, one dig route, um, and then they were in field goal range. So we basically gave them 3 points there. But I mean, the biggest thing for us is just doing what we need to do. Discipline, not beating ourselves, and then when guys are open, we got to make those plays. So we had guys open last time. You go back and watch the film. There's dudes running wide open. Um, we're not going to the right spot. So we got to play with eye discipline as a group, as a quarterback, and then communicate to pick up whatever they're going to bring, and really just do not beat ourselves.
And then to follow up on that, talking about your defense, you played a great game against Orlando just a couple weeks ago. This past weekend against DC, it felt like they got whatever they wanted over the top. What's your evaluation of that unit right now and where they stand? And are there going to be any more changes? I know you made a cornerback change this week.
Yeah, I mean, we picked up Clarence to bring in a little more depth, but no, I mean, listen, that's part of it. It's going to be their offense. DC's offense is completely different than Orlando's offense. So uh, I think the biggest thing for us in the secondary is communication. So we're all on the same page. There was really and truly, I mean, they had the ball right before halftime. We called two man. They hit one down the middle that turned into 3 points for them for DC, and then you had uh, the touchdown over Gilly on the post, and then you had a go ball first possession of the game against Rio on the left side for a touchdown. So, I mean, other than that, it's which we understand we can't give up explosive plays. We got to limit those, but really for us it was communication from a call standpoint. We had certain calls and it didn't it got executed up front, didn't get executed in the back end to play a certain coverage. And that's on us as a team and a defense. Like everybody's got to be on the same page. Communication has to be top notch, and then you got to go out and execute it because we had certain deals called. I'm just thinking of the two bubbles they threw that ended up going down the sideline, one for a touchdown and then one out at about the 4 to 6 yard line. I think is where maybe JoJo ended up knocking him out. But biggest thing is us just being able to communicate, being on our P's and Q's, and then executing the call.
Michael, go ahead with your question.
Yeah, AJ, what's the biggest thing you've learned in these first 5 games as a head coach?
I mean, the biggest thing in this league is you just have to wear so many hats. So, being the GM, being, somebody for the players to talk to. I mean, you got to figure out practice schedule. You got to figure out all of the weather, if it's going to rain, if you got to go to indoor, how you communicate that, how you set that up. I mean, that's the biggest thing, really and truly.
Is there anything you wish you'd known before going into this that you know now?
No, I mean, they can't, there's nothing that can really prepare you for your first head coaching job. I mean, every job's different. Everybody's journey's different. You kind of just learn along the way and then figure out what else you would do to make it better. But for us as a team, we just have to, when we get tired and not having, that's the hardest thing in this league, not having enough numbers. So guys got to play way more than they're used to. Just because you only have 43 active, you only got 20 on offense, 20 on defense going into game day. So we just got to stay locked in when we're tired, and that's when the discipline's got to kick in. So hopefully, we've been great this week. After I'd say the first day, we put in a deal where if we false start, we run after practice. So every false start, every offsides comes down to player discipline, and they'll coach themselves on that. And somebody's going to get tired of running after practice after an hour and a half practice, and it's hot and you're tired. And I keep tally of false starts and offsides, and then we run down and backs after. So we had it the first day. We haven't had it any other day after that. So hopefully it helps us.
Coach, I had someone send in a question that couldn't be here. They said communication is key. You've already said that today. How do you do that with having new players rotate in? Like, how do you do that quickly?
Yeah, I mean, headsets, that's one, really good thing about this league is you can distribute out headsets the way you want. That we really, I leave that up to the defense because they know more from a sense of who might need it. But it's really also being a pro and locking in and spending as much time up here as possible to figure out what the hand signals are, what the calls are, so everything can be communicated fast, and then you go and execute.
Any other questions for Coach? Oh, James, go ahead.
I'm curious, how much insight has DTR given you into what Orlando is doing and what they've been running the last, the first few weeks of the season?
None. James, you know I ain't like. I'm not.
I'm asking like having
Yeah.
not asking you to give me details.
No. I mean, we feel great about knowing what they do. I don't think. I mean, listen, we all do studies on our opponents and what their tendencies are, and I mean that's part of the game. Every coaching staff does that. So, but I mean, I'm sure there's things he knows from just playing them in camp for so long. But I mean, nothing really from a sense of them having certain calls or anything. Listen, if you're a quarterback and you've been there long enough and you know a scheme, like then, but he's also learning a new offense during camp. So he's not really paying attention to their calls to see like, oh, all of a sudden he hears Sonic. Well, he knows Sonic's coming. Like, I mean, when you're a first time quarterback in a new offense, like you're focused on what you need to do. So I highly doubt, but nothing really.
I kind of have a follow-up on that. Like with what kind of advice are you giving Dorian going into this situation? I mean, he's going to have a lot of noise happening going against him. What kind of advice have you been giving him?
I For me, I just try to tell him just to play his game. I don't ever want to change anybody. I mean, there's a reason he's played at such a high level. There's a reason, you know, why he's gotten to where he's at. You also, as a quarterback, have to remember you have to be there for the next play. So even last week, first time getting in the game, he made a good run. Play kind of broke down. We went the wrong way from a running back standpoint on a play action pass. He had to end up kind of scrambling and going back to his right, and then I'd like to see him just get the first down and go out of bounds. He lowered his shoulder, and like that's where I want him. Like, okay, if you need one to get your juices going and feel like you're in the game, but also be smart about it. I want you to get down, and it's your job. You're getting paid to play the entire game, not just a portion of the game. So take care of himself. That's the biggest thing.